coming out so strong, and like I said, really puts a stamp on the strength that China's going to bring to this one. So everybody's going to be looking at Royal as well, saying, man, can they produce the same results? It's going to be different. Lee Sin, Renekton already on the ban list. Shen going out as well, and we're going to see the Ninjas just going back to back on that side.
All right, so they take out the Zed away from Faker. A lot of people consider that Zed highlight reel from OGN to be one of the best plays ever in League of Legends. Meanwhile, on the other side, Loveland is probably my star to watch. I'm definitely saying...
You've almost like made me a Loveland watcher because if you're saying like, man, he goes from support, one of the best supports in the world, and now one of the junglers. I was like, damn, Kobe sold me. Like, he really is impressive, and especially to see that. We've seen it happen. You know, we've seen mid go to that. We've seen 80 carries go to support never with these results that Loveland's had on his change.
He definitely he has the option to do so many different jungle styles. I really like the variety that he shows here.
That's big, though. Faker getting Ahri on the pick, which means, and it's something that, you know, Monty pointed out when he did get his Ahri games, that if he is ganked and he's able to get out of it, he will turn that gank around to do as much damage as he can before you are out of the lane. So he's always trying to turn something around on you.
I think it was right after the Lemon Dogs game versus SKT1 where Faker had Ahri, and the Lemon Dogs had Vi coming at him. And there was not a successful gank to be had. Escaping that was really proved to me that, you know, Faker deserves all this hype that's been talked up around him.
And it's one of the things, right? Because I'm, as I said, not super impressionable with players, but it's kind of like you see him on new champions and he finds his way out. You're like, I wouldn't have thought of that. And that's what he does. He does the thing that people don't think about. And that's why you're wowed all the time. See if he pulls into Ezreal this time. I don't think so, because we have the Ahri, but we'll see how the answer comes in from OMG here. Their pick still to be shown. They have a few of their own priority picks on that side as well, coming in here with the Aatrox, the Zyra, and the Fizz Hover.
Yeah, so the Aatrox was just used top lane. This could be going, or it could be Loveland. Last time Loveland got a hold of this Aatrox, not only did he start at the enemy's red buff, but he also went straight from that red buff into a turret dive, get the timer on his passive ticking. It was a successful tower dive, and it's one of those, you know, unforeseen factors that I really like that Loveland's been bringing to these World Championship games.
Very cool. We have seen Syndra being played within Worlds here, and we may see it once again. Will they give San on to Caitlyn? So the picks are pretty much what we've seen besides the Aatrox from these teams all tournament. So that's really the wrench being thrown in here for OMG with that first pick. Like you said, they don't know if that's going jungle or not. So.
All right. Oh, last second switch. Switch over to Vayne. I was going to shout out, you know, Monte Cristo and Doa really love that combination of the ultimates there from Syndra and Caitlyn, the Unleashed in the hole. But Vayne does very well with Zyra, who can make that the large zoning tool of her ultimate, spread out the team fights, and allow Vayne to have the smaller skirmishes. The 1v1s and the 1v2s are where Vayne really shines. And
I think this might be on Loveland if it's an OMG. If they're a turret diver, they pulled up the Syndra, you're going to have the Aatrox diving in on the lanes, and you have a counter engage from Zyra if you want it. So looks like OMG's going with their particular strategy of we're going to dive under your turrets as much as possible with their comp so far.
I mean, they have left it to the last pick, so they're keeping SKT guessing. Not quite sure where the Aatrox will go, and they're going to have to lock in the top laner for impact here first.
And it looks like they may be able to get down. They do choose the Jarvan out for Bengi. Bengi.
So we still don't know.
Yeah, it allows Bengi to pretty much put himself anywhere. No.
It's going to be Elise or Jarvan going.
So I'm thinking it might be the Elise because he likes to play the Elise in more of a I'm going to just destroy everything you have role and always be on your back. So we'll see. These guys are always pulling out different stuff. Zach could be coming out. We haven't seen him in a few games here. It may be the choice that OMG wants. It just adds more tower dive.
Exactly. Double revive passives.
Lord.
That's very European strategy right there. They love going with the double revive passives, hitting those tower dives hard, and Syndra can just blow up any single target that gets caught with that tower dive.
And it's interesting, you know, as you said, you know, the EU particular group plays that style. That, you know, the Koreans and the Chinese teams are all saying, we came into this tournament without really watching too much European play, but now it's something that intrigues us fully and we definitely need to watch it. So it's definitely Europe bringing in some play style to the Worlds as well here.
It's definitely a lot of people have always, shouted out to Europe. The one big thing that people do look to them for are new champions, because they are very early adapters whenever the new champions do come out. Looks like Aatrox has made his way over to China, so this is definitely top and jungle lane pick here. Looks like Zach will probably be staying on going. And now it is.
See the lock-ins. We expect from OMG for this to pretty much be a just dive composition coming out. If all goes wrong, Vayne for the late game. On the other side, almost looks like the same thing. A dive comp, safety with Sona, safety for the lane with the Ezreal and the sustain. And before these guys spawn into the Rift, let's see who the fans went with in this game. Right now, LOLesports.com is telling us that 54% of you voted for OMG. Along with Freak, everyone else was SKT.
Interesting. Very close here, and I do think that it deserves to be that close of a vote. OMG's got the upper hand, though, because they won the previous game.
You know what's great being on the analyst desk as well is when picks and bans go down, most of the guys will be like, oh, God, I want to switch it now. I want to switch my pick. After saying that.
I don't think that
maybe not this time.
These two ones would cause too much.
This one's a little more solid for both teams.
Because SKT, this is definitely something they have used before. Piglet on the Ezreal, it's definitely happened before, but it's not his go-to champion.
It is different.
Vayne and Kayle.
We've seen teams put their AD carry on something that didn't exactly work, but again, to try and stop that, this is my pattern, this is what we're doing. Sometimes it has worked out for him, sometimes it has. We're on to the Rift for our 40th game of the day. Well, 40 behind us with the extra game. We're on a 41 now. SKT versus OMG. Ladies and gentlemen, we are live, and they are heading for each other's jungles.
All right. So OMG already with the early moves up top, and Big Pamillo gets the lane ward down. No members of SKT, or not enough members of SKT T1 able to auto attack there.
See what they have to do on this. OMG getting themselves quite deep, but they are safe with power and numbers. They're quite spread, OMG, or rather SKT right now.
This three-man hit squad has gotten behind Impact, and he's by himself over here with the top lane Jarvan, by the way. OMG have a pretty good amount of vision. They really would like to pull this pincer off and just come behind Jarvan, but they aren't sure what's in this secondary bush here. So Impact has to be very careful with how he exits this very tiny bush
that is some patience. I would have gone. I'd be dead. Would have fed first blood. But that's why they're on the pro stage.
He's toying with the recall. That's definitely the better option here. Looks like due to the pings that are coming out from SKT T1, it's going to be a blue buff trade start here, even with the very unorthodox level 1 that went on.
So being an Aatrox jungler yourself, does that really affect Aatrox if he loses his blue? He kind of come into lane and just jump, dive, gank if he doesn't have it.
He does not care if he loses his blue. Aatrox actually, he's one of the few junglers that will solo a buff by him, quite happily. He'll be quite happy to solo a buff if he starts with his W. Loveland is a big fan, though, of starting with that Q for the level 1 fights and actually using it while he's still on the fountain to charge up his blood well and then slowly regain some health. Impact. Classic here. This is going. He always likes to take one small camp before going over to his 2v1 lane so that, he doesn't lose out on too much. Impact, meanwhile, all he got was a little harass there. So he's going to be down a small camp as far as the sort of top laners, quote-unquote, are going to go in this.
See, they don't seem to be pushing the bottom lane too hard, so it looks like they actually want to keep Zach out and keep him trying to farm hard. So saving this doesn't push it into the turret. He's going to be forced to come back out. Smart play by Piglet and Pumandu here in the bottom lane. We'll see where the junglers can go from this. This means a red buff for Loveland. He may try to dive straight out or even give that blue early to cool in the mid lane.
I mean, he's got a revive passive. Impact is level 1. I think he's going to go up here for the top lane. There's no wards up in the top lane. So SKT make the call to bring their jungler over. They've done this before, though. Usually it's been late, and they've actually failed these 2v1 or 2v3 defenses.
stealthy.
Loveland was fine against Bengi.
Oh, the blue ward. The blue ward is still there. They didn't take it into consideration. Loveland grabs the upper hand, playing a bit of a cat and mouse game here. Now a 3v2 in the top lane.
They do get a little extra damage on this turret, but it is going to dissuade the dive here. This time around, rotation from Bengi just in time. Loveland doesn't make the dive.
You can see the stat for both champions there on the mid lane showing 100% win rate for when they are picked here for Ahri and Syndra. We'll have to see who can teeter that strat.
And it's, I was talking about, how Loveland is sort of unpredictable in the jungle before,
Right.
but at SKT have to assume that he's going to dive that. He's on Aatrox, has the revive passive, Impact was zoned out, still level 1. Pretty easy call to go counter gank that. Neither team really loses much from that either. It's a very even trade.
And that's something that we see them adapting to already. Because in the earlier games, we kind of saw that, Doublelift would say it's a gentleman's thing, that it still happens, but it's not really practiced into it because it's not something that occurs a lot in the Korean gameplay. Now already adapting to it, seeing what's happening, making the right adjustments to keep safe in that top lane. Going, taking a lot of pressure on the bottom, but San still doing what he can with Big Pomelo here to get down the damage.
Something a lot of people do forget about when they're laning against Vaynes is that you don't want to hug your turret because she will condemn you right into it. Get that extra damage and the stun for harass under turret.
Looks like it's actually going to be a hold lane up here. 2v1s, we haven't seen too much of this. The jungler's just soaking up more of the experience.
Loveland opting for the laning jungle experience here. Not returning to that jungle after his dual buffs.
Completely different than the strategies we saw last game. Odd one, and both junglers actually going for high amount of farm. There's the attack onto Piglet. Arcane Shift is out, but the Elastic Slingshot forces the flash. That's going to be down up until 10 minutes. That is definitely on the mind of OMG, but so is a kill. The exhaust goes down. They are destroying the summoner spells in SKT's lane right now, and they're happy of it.
Both flashes and the exhaust now down for the dual lane of SKT. That was a huge win for OMG. Pulling that out with a duo of revive passive bruisers. SKT have to respect that, and they just got way too close there. Piglet and Pumandu burned some very, very important cooldowns.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that timer and how much pressure they continue to put on the bottom lane. As we said, 10 minutes for those flashes to be coming back up relatively. We have seen in the top lane, Bengi and Impact were kind of able to thwart that off a little bit stronger, but that also leaves San and Big Pomelo to re-aggress on the turret.
Yeah, they're going to do pretty well against this Jarvan in the 1 vs 2, but again, the 1 vs 2 for SKT, they have to be careful of Syndra. Level 6 Syndra can just blow up an Ezreal without barrier or a Sona. Neither of them with any of the defensive summoners. This got very exciting down in the bottom lane. OMG have a huge upper hand.
OMG is playing very smart on the minion waves right now. With what's going on, Gogoing is losing practically nothing from this lane. So he gets back, already sees the minions low, but he's going to soak up all that experience. He was roaming with Loveland just now, helping on Wolves and helping on the blue.
Faker makes the first move to roam, though. Second guesses himself.
Why, though? Maybe doesn't like the movement, doesn't like where the lane push is going. Very interesting plays here from Faker. He decides to choose not to go with his first instinct.
Now Loveland's actually going to be seen with his movements. The repeat invade on this blue to try and grab the second one. But since OMG have their AD and support up top, they've got the man advantage. Vayne needs to roam down right now, though.
This may be that reason.
They trade skill shots.
They wanted the pressure on it. Oh my gosh, he gets to repel. He would have been squashed on that one. Bengi make it out. A beautiful charm there. The gap closes. Stop. Sand gets into the fight. He gets the condemn against the wall. First blood going to Cool.
Beautiful flash tumble condemn right there from San to finish that one. They get the first blood. SKT is going to answer with the bottom turret, though. This man advantage for OMG means they're going to get a blue steal again. And they're also going to be able to pressure the top turret to answer.
Faker gonna have to be careful here. Both Syndra and Ahri pretty much champions that can zero each other out. If Cool gets enough of those orbs on the ground, it's going to be real painful for Faker. So he moves out. Looks like he will back. We do see the turret fall in that bottom lane, which pretty much just thwarts that first blood kill. Everybody's getting money in the game now.
even with Bengi heading up here to the top lane, it's going to be OMG answering, getting that global gold. We have to check down here. Is going freezing this lane with Zach. It's fairly hard to freeze the lane. Yeah, he is just auto-attacking it. So he's going to try and just build up that extra advantage and try and get right back into this game. They need him to be tanky so they can go with those double revive passive dives.
Oh. Close from Big Pomelo, almost
gets a love tap
on the side of that grasping root to throw it off. See two Doran's Ring coming into the mid lane, one with a Chalice coming out on the cool. The Fiendish Kodak's going on to Faker. Both of them with those rings, considering each other's damage, knowing there's going to be a bit of back and forth love taps in that lane. So they go for consumables, stick with the rings for mana regen. And right now, we gotta remember that Cool's been getting the blue buffs. Faker's going in on this without the blue. Cool now to answer. What? And no! There must have been something wrong in the engagement. That would only be stopped due to a peripheral, due to something not working. And we have to, as we saw, Faker wants that blue. The reason he has gone in on this engagement, he was bloodthirsty.
This is such a close duel right now. I'm actually frozen away from it. Can't even see how it's going to turn out. But the cooldown on the spheres from Syndra is so low. That might be right back up. Faker right now has got the advantage in this one. One more tap, and he's going to finish off Cool. The only question is, will Cool be able to answer? I don't think it's going to happen. Looks like Faker just got the outplay.
It wasn't Faker or Cool, so that's not in the engagement in the mid lane. That is not being affected here. Looks like they are going to get backed up. Check out the computer. We're going to get that restarted real quick. It is a peripheral. So see what they can do getting back into this one. They are, it's like Inception for them. They're like looking at last hits, about to smack each other in the face, like an orbital deception right here, trying to calculate the HP. It's going to be intense when we get back to mid lane. Definitely getting the camera guys to just be like, whoop, so we can see it.
All right, though. So if we look at the whole game up to now,
Let's
the first 9 minutes,
recap a little bit.
We've got a good lead here for OMG. They're making a strong case for going undefeated in this group. Zach as well, with the extra small amount of time that he's been able to freeze that bottom lane, he's actually surpassed Jarvan in the 1 versus 2 situation, and they really need him to get tanky. Like I said, they don't want Loveland, even though Loveland has a revive passive as well, they don't want Loveland to be the point for them to set off these tower dives, because Loveland's going to go with a first offensive item. He always gets that the longsword and then goes either Tiamat or
something to put out more damage.
Exactly, some more damage. It's usually been the Cutlass so far.
Yeah, right.
I like the area of effect from Tiamat into Hydra just because you clear so fast, but Loveland definitely favoring that Cutlass to be able to slow people again and chase them down. So he'll probably go with that. So they need Zach to be the tanky one to start things off.
So remember now, a lot of aggression towards the blue buffs. A lot in the bottom lane as well for Zach. They've been continuously giving him help with wolves, especially that Loveland's grabbing for him. So they're trying to build up that
here we go, there it is!
Back into the
Cool gets the outplay!
True shot barrage! No one saw that coming!
Oh, I was so wrong. The cooldown was up on Dark Spear, takes Faker down, but Piglet's got Faker's back. He's able to answer with the snipe coming in.
Let's watch that again.
Yeah, let's watch that again. Faker, he was able to dodge, so look at the sidestep from Tool, expecting that. Faker, then he just bursts him down. Ooh. There's the Dark Spear and the Ignite Tip plus auto attack.
Faker actually could have lived that. His flash was still in range of the second turret tether. Unfortunate, but great play by both, zeroing out the Ezreal barrage to come in for the end.
I would expect nothing less from a duel between the MVPs coming from Korea and China. That was beautiful to watch. As well, you have to shout out Piglet with the snipe from downtown, backing up Faker just to make sure. So, because Piglet got that snipe, it was an assisted kill for SKT. And even though Cool, technically won the duel, SKT came out ahead in gold from that.
So the Athenes now finished up. Faker actually came back with nothing else. I believe he just put those boots in. So he has a core item behind. He is kind of half recipeed into the item that he does want, though. And we can see Piglet now throwing down the True Shot Barrage in the bottom lane. They are just trying to push every lane now. A little bit of an advantage there in the mid. They want it everywhere now.
Yeah, very similar actually from both teams. They have the AD carries shoving up the side lanes to get that extra CS. And both AD carries around the same level right now. So it's going to be on the first completed item. Trinity Force here for Ezreal and Blade of the Ruined King for San. Both of them actually turn them into fairly strong dueling ADs, and they can actually continue to push those side lanes.
So we keep an eye on this mid lane. Look at that CS. 2-1-0. 98 CS to 76. Cool doing some work in that mid lane. And we have to consider they've
no!
once again! They didn't give him time to blink. Right back on him. SKT is now on a mission, and they are starting to execute.
No fair, Faker. You brought 3 people this time.
He is no phony. Still
Oh,
trying-
no,
oh my
Level Charge.
lord! That was more damage than he expected. Hit with everything and anything. The turret goes down. This is just after a kill. Loveland's out of the fight with a passive down. They continue on to Big Pomelo. Big Pomelo now going to go down. If it's one thing, that means it's going to be 2, 3, or even 4 things for SKT. They will not stop.
Really bad timing from the flanking there from Big Pomelo coming in with his ultimate. That the turret just went down. All of SKT are there, and there's no Zac to be found. That was a very, very poor engage from OMG. And Cool gets charmed again!
The max range charm, the lockup, the knockdown, the takedown. Bengi gets the kill there.
San going in!
Way too close. The exhaust is there, but it's not going to be enough. They are going to fall one after the other in the I think I can mentality. But I think I can. They really can't.
SKT can! They're going 3 turrets in a row and another kill!
I stopped at 4 and 5. They're going for 6, 7, 8. Inhibitor turret at 12 minutes. OMG could lose their first game here.
Zac still not joining the fight. He does not want part of this. Everyone who's walked over there has died.
It is going to slow down. We can't say it's going to end yet. Losing their first game here, I mean, it's going to come next 10, 15 minutes. But for this to happen versus the undefeated OMG in the group stage is astounding from SKT. It seemed like they made a mistake in the beginning, but they have since then rearranged their strategy.
That's actually very interesting because coming into this, a lot of people were underestimating the Chinese teams because they had seen this type of one after the other funnel into team fights where they're at a disadvantage and they just keep on going, marching to their own deaths. Oh!
Almost.
Very, very close.
See what they can do with this now. An absolutely amazing push down mid lane. OMG, not on tilt, but has to be wowed right now themselves. I think really any team can say that's happened to them too often. At 12 minutes to have your first inhibitor down, and in the Korean style of play, I believe that's, I'm not sure on this, but that's the 70 to 80% win rate plus for when that first inhibitor's down for that team.
And that means the Trinity Force completed for Ezreal, whereas Vayne is still sitting on the Cutlass, so without the upgrade, they've actually got a pretty big advantage here. And SKT, you know, once they get the advantage, they're going to look for more turrets.
Simply controlling the map now with the Oracles on Bengi. It's going to be a lot easier for them to get that into tight spots. They don't have to worry about Pumandu getting anywhere too dangerous. Turret damage in the bottom lane is allowing SKT to group out of laning phase in under 15 minutes. Now the second tier turret, the bottom lane could be going down. They put all 5 members here with super minions in the base.
Zac still yet to make an appearance here, and he's going to clear out the minions in the mid. So OMG have to abandon this turret or forfeit their lives again.
Another turret goes down. Quick and consecutive. Very methodical here by SKT as they go one after the other. 30 seconds left on that Dragon. I don't even think it's going to be in their eyes. They look like they might get another inhibitor before they even turn around for Dragon.
Just kidding.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, so they also got a Death Fire Grasp here on Faker. Let's see if he actually goes for the 1 versus 1 cool again, and see if he's able to pull it off without teammates.
Quick Dragon going down. You see OMG, as they leave the base, they're at 5, but they're only spreading themselves thin as well along the base wall. They know they don't own too much of their jungle, and you can see the pink wards coming down. Very reminiscent of the Korean play all over the jungle now.
Well, SKT would love to spread out now. With this advantage and the mobile characters that they have, they would definitely like to keep this map or keep the fight spread out at least over 2 lanes.
Right.
So they'll probably be using the pressure that they have mid with those super minions going down to take control of the lizard side jungle and then slowly accrue that extra global gold from the 3 outer turrets that are still standing up at top.
So OMG coming into this game, quite a tower dive composition, as they did. We saw focus the top lane there in the beginning. We'll see if they can continue. SKT didn't really let them get to the towers. OMG has been stopped in their own jungle. And again to the top lane, more global gold coming in for SKT, spreading it out to a 5,000 gold lead.
Good news there for OMG. Loveland has cleared out a little bit of the vision in their own jungle. They know SKT are looking for the picks right now. And the way to get those is all about the ward vision.
As Jet says, these are the dangerous turrets to fight behind. So easily can you be pincered from that backwards position. People can just come around from the outside of your base. Right now, SKT is showing full 5 in the front, but Faker is going to try to go around that backside. Going is going to be a human turret here, sensing out where the movement is coming in from SKT. Oh my word, Big Pomelo chugging back a potion right there as he tries to save his own life. He will not be able to engage in this next fight. And this minion wave is going to be in the turret.
17 minutes in, and SKT have already taken every, well, after that turret, every outer turret.
Yep.
Plus an inhibitor. Talk about fast. Everyone was talking about how fast the Chinese play and how fast Korean game playing is. This is pretty much setting records right now.
When we see OMG really taking that damage into consideration now, the last kills were in favor of not last kills, but the last amount of kills were in favor of OMG. That was 2-1. It quickly became 7-2, and OMG was like, wow, we can't fight. We are going to have to give up these turrets. The threshold and the impact that the items were grabbed at for SKT has completely swayed this game and is now going to equal that inhibitor once again in mid.
OMG have to be very careful about those skill shot CCs right now that SKT are throwing out, because SKT are pretty much saving Crescendo for the counter engage.
Oh, a good stun there. Impact goes in instantly, not letting anybody help going as he goes into the fight. Loveland goes down. He's going to be coming back up from the passive. Piglet trying to help out Impact as he goes down. San's going to be coming up big here, but he turns. He doesn't decide to shoot Piglet. They're trying to help each other out here, but the focus of what they're doing is actually hurting them.
The inhibitor does go down in the aftermath, so even though they're able to trade, SKT both came out with the inhibitor as well as both revive passives taken out.
San actually playing that one very smart. Maybe not choosing to go up against Piglet just because of the factor and the number of teammates there. SKT will back out on this one with the inhibitor. Their name on that. The minion wave pressured in the top lane, ready for another inhibitor, as well as the bottom one. Sub 20 minutes in this game. 9-4, 6,000 gold lead on the dot.
Really, it was all about that mid action there. Very, very questionable play there from OMG.
Faker's more than once taken a situation into his own hands. We saw it the first time these guys went face to face. It was the Gragas onto the Ori, coming out strong on his own kill. Faker again tries to go in hard, 1v1. Still coming out with some plays. We still know that Syndra can put out an astronomical amount of damage with that ultimate, so we're not pulling out any picks that OMG can grab, but that's really what they need. Full fights are not in their favor right now.
Yeah, without the double revive passives, they really they need to defend inside their base. The only thing is, Baron is not inside their base, so it's hard to defend it from there.
Used to could, but not anymore. They are just waiting.
SKT are just trying to bait this one. Okay, so the thing is, when you bait Baron like this with a team that SKT has, they have everyone with the ability to jump over the wall except for Sona. So as long as Sona can get her auras at least extending over this wall, SKT can jump right over this wall and grab OMG.
Oh, there's a good slingshot in.
Baron's low!
Very low. Cool grabs Faker. They are able to grab the Baron. Bengi picks that one up with the smite. Almost getting that down there. They are going to disengage for a bit. This is OMG going back in on Impact. He says, all right, let's party. Gets himself out. He's wasting a good amount of time here.
Goes in with the Cataclysm, then out with the flag combo. Not opting to use it to go over the wall there. OMG answered with 2 kills. It's still definitely a big win here for SKT because the Baron wasn't stolen. That was definitely a turning point. It could have gone hugely in OMG's favor if they were able to grab that Baron away.
This is what I love about these teams. You just saw Big Pomelo and San trying to creep into the jungle, only on 2 wards for protection, but they wanted that pick. They want to try to sway the game in their favor a little bit, but they didn't tunnel on it. They backed out. They can fight another day here, but it's going to be tough. Without those picks we're talking about, without those passives being up, it's a waiting game, and it's becoming a painful waiting game for OMG because they can't put their mark on this game.
Yeah, that 20-minute Baron is always extremely risky. You can see SKT, because they waited so long, thinking that OMG would check over the wall, and they just waited for the pick. They didn't start the Baron immediately. It took them too long to finish it, and OMG came in just at the perfect time.
SKT picking up all the objectives on the list right now. They have all the names, numbers. The camps are theirs as well. OMG still somehow holding on to that gold lead, keeping it within a 5 to 6K deficit, which is beyond me with 7 turrets down. But that is exactly how you get back into a game. The chances look quite slim right now with the base being tattered up. But the longer the game goes, the less that gold gap means, unless the gold gap grows with the game.
Now, OMG have been playing with an inhibitor down since the 12-minute mark around there. So that means at least they have had a steady flow of minions coming into their base, making it a little bit easier for them to farm that up. There goes Faker!
But it is not their base, seemingly. SKT trying to get a second one out of this game. They do get good damage on the turret, re-prepping another one. This is going to open it up. The True Shot Barrage pressing them off. You can see Go going, still not having home guard boots. It's not something he can pick up. The fight goes in. An obliteration for 2 members of OMG. They look like they can turn on the Nexus turrets here, but it's going to be the Let's Bounce. Go going, trying to thwart them off of the turrets, and they're going to do what they can to demolish what they can in the base, and then head for the Nexus.
Another inhibitor down. SKT definitely look like they're going to finish this one off. This was mostly about that mid lane action there that extended for several minutes.
We've said it all week. This tournament is mid lane focused. Faker coming up huge for his team. A sliver of health, living still on the outside as well. They take down San. They have taken down Cool, and this could be the Nexus as well. Cool will respawn. Go going has fallen in the previous fight. SKT will put a tarnish on OMG's record in the group stage with this win.
They end up with identical records then, having traded wins.
Yep.
And they go into quarters on equal footing.
I guess that's the way that it would have happened. They got their revenge. They weren't too happy. Their hands were not shaken. And I think they may get it this time. And they do. Really valiant game played by both of these teams. You can see SKT, that smile on their face.
Did we get a final count on how many consecutive kills there were at the mid lane there with that one single push from SKT? Starting at the outer turret, ending at inhibitor?
I want to say it was 6 or 5. There was a lot.
Three turrets deep, then plus an inhibitor on top of it.
I don't think I've ever seen that definitive of push 12 minutes into the game. Or lower.
I definitely
That's kind of crazy. And you're like, how do these teams win all the time? Because you can swing a game in a matter of seconds, and they know how to keep going. They know when they can keep pressuring. You know the durability of your comp, your team, and what you can do. It's pretty crazy.